Hey guys, what's up gamers and everybody out there? How's everybody doing? I'm making this video today because I was talking to my brother Hebot and also talking to my brother Sega Forever about physical media. Now, the tobacco about that and the arguments about that, you know, is I have to agree with Hebot with most of what we were talking about when it comes to physical media. We all grew up, most of us, that are in our podcast and in our group are older and we grew up with physical media. I understand in these days and times that a lot of things are going to be digital. I understand that completely. Okay. But what me and Hebot, and I believe Sega Forever, and even our brother Unlimited Productions, which is a little younger than us, we like collecting physical gaming, physical games and physical media. That's what we like. Okay. And I don't want physical to go away at all. I don't want it to go away at all. And I don't honestly believe that it's going to go away for a long time, guys. But you have to understand something for somebody that's a collector of video games is that I love the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One X and my Xbox consoles. And I do understand where gaming is going. Trust me, I do. But for people to come out on our podcast sometimes, and some people have a difference of opinion and just say, "Oh yeah, physical's going away. Get over it. Hebot, get over it. Sega man, physical's going away. It's just the way of the world. It's the way of the world." No, it's not the way of the world. Okay, you need to be a little bit more educated when it comes to gaming. Okay, it's not just get over it, get over it, get over it. Okay, because there's one thing that you guys got to understand that you need to get over and realize that can happen. Those servers could shut down and you won't be able to play your physical your digital games at all if those servers shut down or something happens to those servers. You see, the digital games that you buy, technically they're not yours. Okay? They're not. You have a key, it's not on the disc. It's digital game that is not yours. If those servers shut down, you do not own that game. When you buy a digital game, you don't own it. Okay? Because you can't go back anytime and play that game if those servers are shut down. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And I believe that Hebon and me are trying to explain certain things to you guys when it comes to that. Okay, us, it's not us trying to nitpick your opinions or anything like that. Much respect to my brothers and everybody out there that love digital. I'm not downing you for that at all. If that's what you like, that's fine. But you got to understand that you know honestly, a lot of the OGs out here, they would rather have physical games, and I'm one of them. I want to turn on my Xbox and play my game, even if the internet is down. There is some games you can play offline, but if those servers go away and you bought some of those games that are digital, you no longer have access to it and you cannot play it. And I believe that's what he bought is trying to explain to a lot of people, and gamers out there, out here in the gaming streets. Okay, if you pay $70 for a digital game and something happens to those servers and you can't play it, are you going to be? I'm pretty sure you're going to be upset about that because you can't access that game, or something happens where you can't access that game. Digital games, you don't own them. You don't own them. You're renting them. It's a license. You're renting them. At the end of the day, you're renting those games, guys. You do not own digital games. You don't own them. You're renting them. I would rather own my games. And what I mean by own my games is the games being on the disc and in physical format. Okay? That's how me and Hebot and Sega Forever and even Unlimited Productions, I believe, want to own their games. They want to be able to put their games in and play them anytime they want. Doesn't matter if the internet's down, doesn't matter if the servers are shut down. We want to be able to put the game in and play the game. And you're not going to be able to do that with that disc you bought. You're just downloading a code, basically, is what you're doing. With a lot of these games today. The game is not on a disc. And I have to agree with Hebot when he said about Forza Motorsport. It's not on the disc. It's not on the disc. Okay? The game is not on there. So I honestly have to agree with him with that, okay? I'm a big fan of Forza Motorsport, and you guys know this, okay? But I do buy digital, don't get me wrong. I have digital games. I have digital games. I do accept digital games, okay? I'm not refuting that, okay? But what me and Hebot are trying to explain to everybody out there that might have, a little bit of a problem with how we feel about games is that we would rather have our games physical that we want to buy and it be on the disc and we can play them at any time. Like right now, if I want to, I can play any Sega Saturn game. I can play any Dreamcast game. I can play any GameCube game, Xbox original games, and even some 360 games. You can go in and play it. It's not connected to a server. Okay? It's not. And the way of digital, it seems like it definitely is going that way, but you guys got to remember the money that you're paying for those digital games at full price, you don't own them. You're renting them. That's all. You're renting a license to play those games. You can't say my Call of Duty. You don't own it. Okay? If you buy them digitally, you don't own the game. If something happens to those servers, oh well, and you don't get your money back. And I don't know if people really realize and understand that. Maybe it's a cheaper way of them doing games and going away with physical media to some extent. I understand it, but you got to understand there's also a homebrew community out here that still makes games, physical games, homebrew. Which is really cool for people that are retro gamers and retro fans of old school 16-bit and 18-bit games. Even games on Dreamcast right now are still being made homebrew, shoot 'em ups, and different types of games like that. That they're still making for the great Dreamcast. And different systems like that. And I think what me and Hebot and our brother Sega Forever and them are trying to explain to you that uh, physical media does not need to be irrelevant. It needs to stay. It needs to stay. It needs to stay relevant. It needs to stay prevalent in gaming. It does. Okay, because there's a lot of people that still like to have physical media. I'm sorry, if I'm going to buy something that's $70, I want to hold that in my hand. I want to look at the art style of the cover. If it comes with, like, let's say, a special collector's edition. Okay, if you pay $100 or $120 for a special collector's edition of Gears of War or something like that, you want at least a statue with it. You want a collector's book in there that you can read and look through at the beautiful art pictures in there. That maybe you might get like little stickers or different things in there that you might want to keep it preserved and keep in its original form. Or like I said, if you get a little statue with it, with like Marcus Phoenix or Kate or any of those characters, and different things like that. People love collecting that. You don't want a digital. What? Why would you want a digital collector's edition? A digital collector's edition of an art book? Really? Why would you want that? To me, you would want to hold that in your hand, feel the pages, read the description of the artwork that's in there and how they made it, and the world of Gears, and different things like that. Why would you want a digital collector's edition of something? You still kind of don't own it if you think about it. What if something happens to your computer or something happens? It's gone. You can't get it back. You don't own it. See? And I think a lot of people got to understand, you work hard for your money, and I just think when you buy something, you feel like it was worth buying. You know what I mean? That it was worth buying and working hard for, like having a physical copy of your great game, or even a physical copy of a movie that you love. You know what I mean? Or a great CD that you love back in the day, having a physical copy of that CD, no matter what kind of genre of music it is. See, I own a lot of physical media. I own a lot of that stuff, physical like CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays and 4Ks and games. I don't want that to go away. People are like just trying to sweep it under the rug, and like it's just the end all be all, and it's not. People like me and Hebot take a sip of some great coffee in the morning. Me and Hebot and people like Sega Forever, and I'll say it again, my brother Unlimited to a certain extent, we love physical games, special collector's edition of games, steel books, different things like that. But I will say, I do not want to get a steel book with a digital paper in it to put the game on the system. Why? I want the disc. I don't want to open up a steel book that costs $70 and there's a paper inside with numbers and letters for you to put the game into your gaming system. I don't want that. To me, that's crappy to do to people that work hard for their money and expect good quality physical media when it comes to collecting for games or anything you collect for. Okay? You guys have to understand that. You got some of these guys on here, yeah, they just want to bombard you when you talk. Yeah, get over it, get over it, Sega man. Yeah, he bought it. It's just the way of the world. Yeah, digital, it's just the way of the world, this and that. No, 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 no. You're wrong. Okay? It's not just get over it. All right? You're not, in my opinion, okay, and I'm not trying to be mean, you're not that knowledgeable about gaming, okay? In my opinion, all right? It's not get over it. There's a lot of people out here that are collectors of video games and want physical media to still stay around, all right? That's what we want. And that's what we're trying to stress when we talk about this in podcasts and different things like that when that topic comes up. Okay, I'm not saying that's not the way it's going. I know that. Me and Hebot know that. We're very, very well aware of that. And Sega Forever, we're very aware of that. Okay, but physical media does not need to disappear. You're still making your money when we buy it physical, and everybody's happy. Okay, you know, and I still buy physical games today. Like I said, a lot of those digital games that you own and you spent so much money on, if something happens to those servers, you no longer have that game. You never owned the game in the first place. You're renting it. You know? You're renting the game. You never owned it. If something was to happen, I want to put in a game and play it. Even if the internet was out, like I said in the beginning of the video, and play it. Like, like the stuff that I collected for back in the day, my old game systems. Those games are mine, and you cannot take them away from me. They're mine. I can put them in and play them anytime I want. Sega Genesis, the old school Saturns, all that stuff. A GameCube, 3DO, whatever I own, TurboGrafx. You can always put that in and play it. It doesn't go away. Those games have become digital, right? Those games have become digital because a lot of those games are expensive right now, and you might not be able to afford the system. You might not be able to afford the games that came with the system. So a lot of that stuff is digital right now. Okay? And you can buy some of those games like from Nintendo and things like that. But if something was to happen, they might go away. You know? Physical media is the best media, in my opinion. Now, I like playing. I like playing and buying and supporting indie devs that have digital games on ID at Xbox and indie games. And another thing I want to say, and I want people to stop saying this out here. I'm not trying to get off the topic. Indie games matter. Okay. Indie games are not garbage. So please stop coming out here and saying that indie games are garbage and that they don't mean anything. Because you got to remember, a lot of the games that you're playing right now, they started out as indie developers. I hope you know that. Okay? The big games that you're playing right now, the AAA games that you like and think are just the best and nothing else matters, at one time, those developers were indie developers. Okay? They didn't just become big developers. Okay? You need to think before you speak. Okay? Indie games are not garbage and don't mean anything. That's bullshit when you say that. Okay? So please stop saying that. Anybody out there saying that? Stop saying that. Because they're not garbage games. There's a lot of people out there that love indie at Xbox games and indie games. I do. I support them. I buy them. I support them. So they can get bigger and make bigger games. That's what it's all about. Is supporting those indie devs to make them bigger, to make bigger games to bring to you, to make them AAA games. So you need to think before you speak. All right? No shade, okay? I'm not trying to be mean, no shade, but you need to think before you speak. Stop coming out here saying that indie games are garbage and that they don't mean anything in Game Pass or Ultimate Game Pass or anything like that, because you're wrong. They do mean something, because if they didn't mean anything, they wouldn't be in there. Okay? There's a lot of people out there that love indie games. There's a lot of people that support them. Brother 100 loves indie games. I like indie games. Hebot loves indie games. Sega Forever loves indie games. Unlimited Productions, E-Rock. A lot of us love indie games. We play indie games. We support the developers on Game Pass. We even buy indie games. So please, think before you speak. Okay? Those are people out there that work hard, that spend a lot of money and to get their games out there to be on Xbox, and Xbox and Microsoft gives them a chance. I don't really see no other company, honestly, giving these young indie developers a chance to show their game and bring their games to us, true gamers. True gamers play indie games. All right? True gamers play indie games and buy indie games. If you're a true gamer and you love video games, period, you support it, no matter what it is. Triple A, double A, indie games, you support it. Okay? So please stop coming out here saying that indie games are trash and garbage in Game Pass, because you're dead wrong. They're not. They're great games. They have a great art style and form, and every game is different. All right? So if you're going to be a game connoisseur, all right, and you're going to be a true gamer out here, don't say that. Because you're down in the gaming community when you say stuff like that, okay? That's not right. So please stop saying that. All right? So back to what I was saying. Um, I believe physical media does not need to go away. I believe that it is still relevant. You know what I mean? And I'm going to have to disagree with a lot of people out there on that topic. I just don't agree that everything should go digital. I think they should still make physical games. We're still supporting them, and they're still getting paid. We're still supporting them by buying physical games. You know, there's a lot of people out there that like physical still. Okay, there is. You know, and some people might not like the video that Sega Man is doing, but it's my opinion, it's my platform, and I can say what I want to say. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else does. Everybody's not going to always agree with everybody's opinions, and I understand that. But there's no shade. I'm just telling you how I feel, and I think that's what Hebot's trying to do. And people get upset and mad at Hebot, you know, and stuff, because he believes in still having physical media. You know what I mean? And that's not right, guys. Don't do that. He's part of the Xbox community. He's been out here for a long time. You know what I mean? He's very well knowledgeable when it comes to gaming. You know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. That's why, like, a lot of people, they like to have Hebot on, or would like to have Hebot on. You know what I mean? And sometimes when he would go on those shows back in the day, they would always interrupt him. They would love to have Hebot on, but when it was time for Hebot to talk, like on some of those older shows Brother Hebot was on, they never let him talk. And you had people like me that wanted to hear him talk, because I knew he had gaming knowledge. And I knew he knew what he was talking about. He made me and 100 go out and buy all kind of shoot 'em up games that we didn't see in Xbox. You know what I mean? The guy knows what he's talking about. The brother knows what he's talking about. All right, give him his respect, man. You don't have to always agree with everything Hebot has to say, but he's very relevant out here, and he's definitely an OG and a connoisseur of OG gaming. and collecting, man. He is. And he knows gaming today. He does. So he's very relevant out here in these gaming streets. So give him his respect, all right? Don't disrespect the brother. You know what I mean? He's a good guy. He got a good heart. He's a good man. I met him and his family. I broke bread with them. He's a really good guy, all around good guy. He just is. You know? Don't have to always disagree with Hebot, but be respectful, man. Be respectful to the OGs out here. All right? Show some respect, man. You know? But I'm going to end this video. It's going over 20 minutes, but I wanted to come out here and say that, you know, that we love physical media and we don't believe that physical media should go away. Okay? I feel if I'm going to spend even $30 on a game, I want it to be on the disc. I want it to be physical. I want the case. I want the artwork. I want what comes with the game. Okay? Certain games that I want. Okay? I'm not saying that they're going to keep doing digital no matter what. Okay? But physical should not go away. It should still stay relevant out here in the gaming community and these gaming streets. All right? So, man, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is just my opinion. I think I spoke somewhat of what Hebot thinks and Sega Forever, and even to a certain extent, my brother Unlimited Productions, you know, about physical media when it comes to gaming. You know, look forward to my podcast later on today. It's Sunday. This video might not air till later, you know, because I'm going to be doing my podcast. I did not get to do it Saturday because I came on early in the morning with my brother Sega Forever, and I was tired, you know, most of the day, and I had to do stuff with my daughter, and I just didn't feel like doing the podcast. But it's going to be on today, which is Sunday. You might see this video after, you know, after I do my podcast. It's gonna, you know, probably premiere later. But I hope you like and enjoy my opinions about talking about gaming and physical media and gaming. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna get going. Take care, guys. Just think about what I said. All right, give it some thought. All right. Xbox for life, guys. All right. There's no power greater than X, and PlayStation got no games. Peace.